Good evening. You're watching Verdict 2016 with me, Ishan Russell. Verdict 2016 is the show where we get you the latest updates from the states going to the polls. And first, let's take a look at the headlines that we're tracking right now. Campaigning for second phase of elections in West Bengal comes to an end. Voting to be held in the 6th North Bengal districts on Sunday. The Election Commission transfers Birbhum SP Mukesh Kumar. 3 other officers in charge of 3 police stations in the district also transferred. Orders issued after a review of poll preparedness in West Bengal. People's Welfare Front releases list of candidates for upcoming polls in Tamil Nadu. The DMDK to contest in 104 seats, the MDMK in 29 and TMC in 26 seats. VCK, CPIM and CPI to contest in 25 constituencies each. Right, first let's talk about the elections in West Bengal. Now, campaigning for the second phase of the assembly polls in West Bengal came to an end at 5 p.m. today. Voting will be held in the 6th North Bengal districts, including Jalpaiguri, Darjeeling and Malda in this phase. The second phase of the polling for the 56 assembly constituencies will take place on the 17th of April. The first phase of the 6th phase elections in the state was held in 2 parts on the 4th and 11th of April. Now, elaborate security arrangements were made today for the second phase of assembly elections in West Bengal. The Central Armed Police Forces will handle the situation inside booths, while the state police forces are involved in other jobs like managing queues and crowds. In all 83 companies, the Central Security Forces, 2,800 state police have been put in place to ensure peaceful polling. In all, 383 candidates are fighting out in these 56 constituencies that go to the polls in the second phase.
एरिया डोमिनेशन कर रहे हैं, जो रूट चार्ट है उसके हिसाब से पूरे इलाके में जो फोर्सेस हैं वो विज़िट कर रही हैं पोलिंग बूथ्स और उसके सराउंडिंग विलेजेस में लोगों में कॉन्फिडेंस पैदा कर रहे हैं कि हम हैं और हम इंश्योर करेंगे फ्री और फेयर एंड पीसफुल पोलिंग.
ऑल बूथ्स सिंगल डबल ट्रिपल क्वाड्रुपल সবাই বুথের মধ্যে সিএপিএফ রয়েছে.
Now, the Election Commission has transferred Birbhum SP Mukesh Kumar and the other officers in charge of 3 police stations in the district following a review of poll preparedness in West Bengal. The move comes after the controversial Kolkata Police Commissioner Rajiv Kumar was removed from his post following complaints against him by the major opposition parties. Birbhum votes in the second phase of elections on Sunday. And a correspondent, Pranav Goswami, has been travelling through the state. He's in Darjeeling right now, one of the 6 districts in North Bengal that will be seeing a polling on Sunday. And Pranav, what's the mood over there? Campaigning has come to an end. But if you look at North Bengal that is going to the polls this time around, what are the key issues that the people have been talking about?
North Bengal issues are slightly different from the other part of Bengal, and this has been a stronghold for Congress party. Congress in 2011 election, out of 56 seats which are going for poll in this round of polling, Congress won 18 seats. TMC also won 18 seats, but that time TMC and Congress, they fought election together. This time equations are different because left and Congress are contesting against TMC. The direct fight is between TMC and left Congress allies. And issues are, if you talk about local issues, then there are different issues in different districts. If you talk about in Malda, we all know that that communal violence incident took place in January month, and in those areas, the political parties are trying to polarize the vote between Hindu and Muslim vote bank. If we talk about Darjeeling district, we know that separate state, demand of separate state, the Darjeeling people have been demanding, and it is a long pending demand of creating a separate state in Darjeeling for Gorkha land. So this is a key issue in Darjeeling district. And other districts also are having many local issues like.
All right, so local issues seem to be dominating the conversation over there, and we'll see how North Bengal polls. Thanks very much for that. For now, Pranav Goswami. Pranav, of course, will keep a track all across West Bengal for us on the elections as they happen over there. But in the studio, I'm joined by Manas Banerjee, special correspondent, Dainik Agradut Assam. And to help us understand, Manas, explain to us, as far as North Bengal is concerned, as Pranav was pointing out, this is traditionally a Congress stronghold. But have the allegiances changed now? And what can we expect? How critical is this phase for the fortunes of all three in the fray, the TMC and the Congress left combined?
In fact, in the last few years, we have seen that before this Trinamool Congress came into power, it was under the influence, the entire North Bengal was under the influence of Congress. आपने देखा है जो मुर्शिदाबाद है, उसमें मुर्शिदाबाद है, तो मालदा है, everything in Malda, Murshidabad is there, very powerful. And Raiganj, West Dinajpur also there, and West Dinajpur means now North Dinajpur and South Dinajpur. All are under the influence of Congress. But this time, Deepa Das Munshi was defeated in the Lok Sabha from Raiganj, and Muhammad Salim elected. Now the situation is different. Trinamool Congress got 18 seats out in the North Bengal area last in the Vidhan Sabha election. But now the situation is totally different since when this left front and Congress got alliance now came into a morcha. So that's the joint fight is going on. So it will be very difficult for Mamata Banerjee's Trinamool party to come and secure maximum seats from that area. It will be very difficult in the North Bengal, particularly North Bengal. And in other areas, actually, in Jalpaiguri yesterday, now what is happening in North Bengal, Jalpaiguri, some sporadic incidents happened.
And that brings me to our next question, because we've talked about the amount of transfers that have happened and the fact that is this becoming a worry? We've heard of incidents of violence and booth capturing and all that still happened even in 2016 in the West Bengal polls.
Yes, it was happening, and it was happening in the first phase, second phase. You have seen it happened in the first phase and second phase also. Massive booth capturing, violence, everything. Now the Election Commission has taken a very serious, strong step to control the violence there. So now Election Commission, you just earlier you have said that the Rajiv Mukherjee has been shunted out from the police from the post of Police Commissioner of West Bengal, and in that post that's Somin Mitra has joined, new commissioner. And another step they have taken.
Kolkata, not West Bengal. Commissioner
Kolkata. Another step they have taken. That is the shunting of the SP, Superintendent of Police Mukesh Kumar, from Bolpur. Bolpur, this is the most dangerous area. Entire Bolpur, Birbhum. Entire Birbhum is being controlled by Anubrata Mandal. He is the one, you can say, he's an unsocial element and goons of Trinamool Congress. And he is the lord of what he says. He, last time in the sting operation also, since that some Babi Hakim minister was telling that Shatabdi ka, what is the fate of Shatabdi? Can she win? But क्यों नहीं? हमारा दोनों ही सीट जीत जाएगा कि अनुब्रत is going there. So in such a ferocious man he is. Now he has challenged the election commission. The election commission now decided to arrest him or something, as he will be ousted from the district even, or he will not be allowed to come forward for near any booths of the Birbhum. Now there are three sensitive areas in the Birbhum. That is Moirishwar, Birbhum, Moirishwar, Labpur. They're all sensitive areas controlled by this Anubrata Mandal.
So I guess, would be coming down to a lot of muscle power, but the Election Commission is taking measures, I guess, to combat those, and administration officials and transfer. Maximum. Yeah, so that I think is top of this mind, and we'll have to wait till Sunday to see how polling happens.
COCs have also been transferred.
All right. So indeed, a lot of senior officials being transferred, and indeed in this day it's rare, but tells you about the kind of security situation in the West Bengal for the polls.
The security situation, I'm telling you, that already 60,000 to 70,000 security forces and paramilitary forces were sent there to control the situation, to combat the
more have been deployed now.
But there are not even in many areas, many booths, nearer the booths, no security personnel and paramilitary or not seen, actually.
So that was a complaint that the major opposition parties made. Manas Banerjee, I'll have to interrupt you over here because I've run out of time, but thank you very much for coming in, and we'll continue this conversation at a later stage. Of course, the West Bengal Assembly polls are in 6 phases, but thank you very much for your analysis. On that note, we'll take a very quick break and lots more on the other side. Do stay tuned.
Elections for Tamil Nadu Assembly just round the corner.
4,000 libraries available, but liquor shop 6,800 something.
All parties agree that prohibition is the way forward.
People are demanding prohibition.
The first resolution of the party was total prohibition in Tamil Nadu.
What is stopping the government from announcing it?
Banning the sale of liquor was not a viable option as it would result in a loss of 20,000 crore a year, which would mean 1 lakh crore every 5 years.
Watch our special report, The Prohibition Dilemma, only on Rajya Sabha television.
Welcome back. Let's shift focus now to Tamil Nadu. Now, the BJP has released its third list of 57 candidates for the Tamil Nadu Assembly polls. The party is fighting the polls in alliance with some small outfits after almost all of its allies in the Lok Sabha elections walked out. Polling will be held on the 16th of May. The BJP, meanwhile, has released the names of 16 contestants for the Puducherry Assembly elections. The Union Territory has 30 assembly constituencies. And our correspondent Akhilesh Suman spoke to the leader of the People's Welfare Front, Vaiko, to understand the issues being raised by the new front and its future in this election.
The firebrand leader of Tamil Nadu and chief of NDMK is with us. Mr. Vaiko, why you didn't align with DMK?
The DMK is the most corrupt party. If you make a comparison between the two, ADMK will win the race in corruption and DMK will come second. Both the parties have destroyed the state through corruption, through liquor, and DMK is famous for land grabbing. Therefore, we decided to fight both the parties to see a new change after 50 years. Ushers in Tamil Nadu, we are going to achieve it.
But what is the agenda? What is the new agenda that you are trying to project? Both AIDMK and DMK represented the Dravidian movement. You have joined hand with the parties who didn't represent the Dravidian movement. What is the agenda now?
These two parties have destroyed the state. Our agenda to first of all enact Lok Ayukt and put them in the dock. Already there are two swords are hanging like Damocles sword on the head of the leadership of ADMK and the head of the leadership of DMK. One is about the disproportionate wealth case, the other is the 2G spectrum case. Now, we will confiscate the properties they gained through corruption.
But if you fall seats from the majority, then what will you do? Will you align with either DMK or ADMK?
We will never align either with the DMK or with ADMK, and I am fully confident that scenario will not come. We will win hands down.
Fishermen are a big chunk in Tamil Nadu.
That's good.
So, and they are facing many problems here. So do you have any solution to offer to them in this election time?
You see, the solution, the Indian government, Indian Navy should give a stern warning. They should not allow them to come and attack our fishermen. In the international boundaries also, the area, they are getting attacked because the Indian government, the previous government, this government, is hobnobbing with the Sri Lankan government and they are in connivance with the Sri Lankan government. Once we form the government, we will take a very strong decision and we will pressurize the union government to protect our own citizens. We will be very firm on that.
Thank you, Mr. Vaiko. Thank you so much for talking to Rajya Sabha. So this was Mr. Vaiko, who has created another front. This is like a third front in Tamil Nadu, and time will tell that what this third front is going to do in this election. Akhilesh Suman for Rajya Sabha Television with camera person Om Prakash in Chennai.
Now, the PWF released its list of candidates for the upcoming polls in Tamil Nadu. The list gives a clearer picture of how the main parties are poised in some key constituencies. Now, VCK will take on Chief Minister Jayalalitha in RK Nagar, while DMDK will field a candidate against DMK's M.K. Stalin. DMK chief M. Karunanidhi will face a CPI candidate in Thiruvarur. Here's a detailed report.
A day after the alliance's lead partner DMDK announced its candidates for 40 of the 104 seats it's contesting, other constituents of the four-party People's Welfare Front and G.K. Vasan-led Tamil Manila Congress on Thursday finalized the constituencies for the polls in Tamil Nadu. All four leaders of PWF, MDMK founder Vaiko, VCK leader Thol Thirumavalavan, state secretaries of CPIM and CPI G. Ramakrishnan and R. Mutharasan, and TMC senior leader B. Jnana Desikan released their party's list of constituencies in Chennai.
Vijay Kant is going to campaign for you also?
All the constituencies. He is the Chief Minister designate, he is the Chief Minister candidate. He will campaign all the 234 constituencies.
The seat sharing agreement in the combine is 104 for DMDK, 29 for MDMK, 26 for TMC and 25 each for VCK, CPIM and CPI. Actor turned politician Vijay Kant is the CM candidate of the alliance. The new bloc will take on both DMK and AIA-DMK in the forthcoming polls on the issues of corruption and lack of adequate development in Tamil Nadu.
We will get both the DMK and AIA-DMK sympathizers votes. See, the main issue is the corruption. For the past, moreover, for the past 48 years of Dravidian party rule, there is no significant improvement in Tamil Nadu. There is no development. There is no agriculture has come to an stagnation. Industrial growth has stagnation. Unemployment is every day developing. Youth have got no opportunity for employment. So all these issues will be focused in the election.
All 234 seats in the Tamil Nadu Assembly will go to polls on the 16th of May in a single phase. Counting of votes will take place on 19th of May. Akhilesh Suman's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
Now, the Election Commission today organized a flash mob in Chennai to promote voting in Tamil Nadu. Over 100 dancers assembled in the mall in Chennai city for the impromptu performance. The Election Commission said the aim is to reach out to the entire voter population to ensure a 100% turnout in the polls.
As election fever peaks in Tamil Nadu, shoppers in Chennai's malls surprised by a flash mob spreading a message on ethical voting. Amused people watched the dancers campaign with banners saying no note for vote. The event was organized by the State Election Commission and Association of Bharatanatyam Artists of India.
It essentially means that we will vote without any money being taken or without any inducement. So we are trying to reach this to the entire electorate, and we have got a good response as a lot of artists have been involved. More than 100 artists have been involved and they have prepared for almost 1 month for this event.
The dancers also appealed to people to come out to vote.
We had this awareness program for vote for the Tamil Nadu elections, which is going to turn up in May. So it was an amazing event where we had a flash mob of around 100 dancers taking part in it, and we're really glad that this event has happened, and we request each and every one citizen of India to vote.
Tamil Nadu goes to polls on May 16th to decide its next government. Votes will be counted on May 19th. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Let's shift focus now to Kerala. Now, despite being a small party, the Revolutionary Socialist Party has a strong base in the Kollam district of Kerala. Earlier, they were the ally of the Left Democratic Front, but in the last 2014 Lok Sabha elections, RSP parted ways with the LDF and joined hands with the United Democratic Front led by the Congress Party. Our correspondent Ravindra Sharan spoke with RSP leader N.K. Premachandran, who is confident of performing well in these assembly elections.
2014 in the 16th parliament elections, we had some differences with CPM regarding the seat sharing and their unilateral approach in seat sharing and all these things. So we had strong reservations, and finally there was no other way or option. We are forced to opt out this LDF, and subsequently we have joined the UDF. After joining UDF, this is the first state assembly election which we are going to face. Definitely we are full confident that RSP plus Congress in Koilon district and various parts of the state, especially in the southern districts of the states, it will have a very good impact in having the election winning. Because RSP in Koilon district, it is a stronghold of so many class struggles, so many workers' strike and so many workers' movements we had in this district. And definitely when we are having an alliance with Congress and the allied parties, definitely there is the chance of getting more seats in Kollam district is very sure.
कैशू नट फार्मर्स का बड़ा इशू है सर. कैशू नट ग्रोवर्स जो हैं, इंडस्ट्री है, वो डिस्ट्रेस में है. उसके अलावा और कोयर बोर्ड का, यहाँ पे कोयर का जो मामला है, इन चीज़ों को हाउ विल यू एड्रेस दीज प्रॉब्लम्स?
So one of the major issues is the cashew. That is the cashew workers crisis in Kollam. That is a major issue actually because of the global scenario, so many developments, because the price of the raw cashew nuts have increased like anything in the international market. Always we are depending the import of raw cashew nuts from African countries and so many other foreign countries. But unfortunately now almost all the countries have started the processing, and the price of the cashew nut, raw cashew nut, has increased like anything. There the labor cost is very cheap, and availability of the raw material, that is raw cashew nut, is also surplus or having good availability. But in the state, the cost of labor is very high, and the cost of the cashew nuts is also very high. So it is very difficult to meet this profit and loss situation. Since even then, we are trying our level best to open all the cashew factories which are owned by the government of Kerala. And so many advantages, benefits has been given to the cashew nut factory workers, because good wage revision was done during this period. 35% of increase in the basic minimum wages and amenities has been given by this UDF government, and so many welfare activities have been conducted for the cashew workers. But still, the issue is the factories, most of the factories are closed.
पिछली वाली जो विधायक जितने आपके जीते थे उससे ज़्यादा बढ़ के आएंगे या उतने ही आप जीत पाएंगे सर?
See, last assembly election, the United Democratic Front led by the Congress had only 2 seats in Koilon district or Kollam districts. Definitely that situation will improve, number one. Not only improve, majority of the seats in Kollam will now be won by UDF, United Democratic Front, out of which 3 seats are RSP seats and 1 seat for Muslim League. And all other seats are being contested by the Congress. We had a very good expectation that we can make a very good performance in this assembly elections, with majority of the seats in Kollam in the coming assembly election.
That's a wrap in this bulletin, but as we go, we'll leave you with the big industry issue in poll-bound Puducherry, which is tourism, and how this is affecting the polls. Take a look at the story. Thanks so much for watching.
Located in the southern part of India on the Coromandel coast of the Bay of Bengal and bound by Tamil Nadu is Puducherry. The history of modern Puducherry dates back to 1673 when Dutch, Portuguese, British and French colonists arrived here. A French colony till 1954, Pondicherry was officially renamed Puducherry in 2006.
We should be having foreign tourists coming in, which we have not focused yet. I think there is a major vacuum which we need to grow in that direction. And the government has to play a very vital role with regard to popularizing our destination in the foreign markets, which I think this place needs that push from the government.
Once a quiet, sleepy town, Puducherry banks on tourism as one of the main sources of income. More than 7 lakh domestic and foreign tourists visit the Union Territory every year. However, the absence of an airport is a huge drawback. Political parties also feel that tourism needs a boost for overall development of the region.
I've been hearing that an airport here in Pondicherry would be helpful because we have to come through Chennai. But I think we're enjoying the facilities that are here.
But more facilities will help more people to come.
More facilities will help for more tourists, sure.
This is a union territory. We have limited revenue. We don't have much revenue. So the central government should a lot of funds. That's what I feel. This government revenue is only excise duty on this liquors, which is apart. They get about something like some, but they have to focus most on tourism sector.
ये पूरा बिल्कुल ये सरकार अभी एनआर सरकार फेल है. पूरा अब उन्होंने 170 आश्वासन दिया लोगों का. ये में एक ही पूरा नहीं किया अभी तक. 5 साल हो गया.
During these elections, local residents are renewing their demand for an airport and also a theme park. Demands that could play a major role in deciding the fate of political parties, depending on their stand on these issues. Ravindra Sharon for Rajya Sabha Television, Puducherry.